All right, hello to everyone out there. Welcome to another edition of On Duty with the Elk Grove Village Police Department. Today, on a hot summer day, I am in the cool confines of the Emergency Operations Center room here at the Elk Grove Village Police Department. Today, I would like to talk to you a little bit about going back to school safety for parents and kids. It's about that time. School has started up, and I know kids are excited to go to school, and I know as a parent myself, I'm excited when the kids go back to school too. So today we're going to talk about some things that hopefully we can work on with our kids to make sure that they get to school safely every day, and also some of the things that we can do as parents as well to help with that. Okay, so when I'm out on patrol, I often see kids walking to school each day. So I know that's a primary mode of transportation for them walking to school. We want to make sure that they are getting there safely every day. So if you haven't already, you may want to get together with your kids and go over just some simple safety tips that I have for you today. We want to make sure that they have a direct route to and from school. So they know the route, they make sure they're going there, not going anywhere else, and they're comfortable with that route. While they're walking to school, I know a lot of kids have cell phones these days. You really want to stress the importance to them of not walking while they're on their cell phones, while they're distracted with headphones on, because like I said, we want them to get there safely. And oftentimes kids get lost in their phones, and if they're walking, that could lead to some problems, which we don't want to see. We also want to stress to them the basics of being a good pedestrian, crossing at the appropriate places, at the crosswalks, not between cars in the middle of the street, making sure if there is a crossing guard at the school that they are obeying. They're out there for a reason to cross them safely, so they should be respectful and listen to the crossing guards out there. And a big thing that I always tell kids is make sure you're making eye contact if there happens to be a car, with a driver, so that you see them and they see you. I think that will definitely help when both the kids and the drivers are aware, and just another way to be safe when crossing at the streets. So if we can follow some of these tips and talk it over with, if parents can talk it over with their kids, we can make sure that they're getting there safely to school, so that we don't have to worry about it going forward. I know not everyone walks to schools. There's many kids who get to school on the school buses. I also wanted to touch on some safety tips for that parents can go over with the kids regarding this way of getting to school too as well. It is very important if you try to get to the designated school bus stop early. That way kids aren't scrambling to get there and maybe crossing not at intersections and finding shortcuts there. So, advise your kids to try to get there 5 to 10 minutes early if possible. They need to wait for the bus to come to a complete stop. And they should be approximately 5 to 10 feet away from the curb, so that and make eye contact with the bus driver so that he sees them and they see the bus driver. They want to wait for his okay to get onto the bus, and then we do want to be respectful of the bus driver, other passengers, other kids on the bus too as well, wearing our seatbelts, and as the bus continues on its route to school. When getting off the bus, we never want to cross directly in front of the bus. We want to go 10 to 20 feet ahead. Again, make eye contact with the bus driver so he sees you, and then cross safely. And if we were to drop something by the bus, we never want to you want to tell your kids never try to pick it up. Let the bus driver know about that so it can be handled safely. Again, with these kind of tips reinforcing it with our kids, we can make sure they get to school safely on the bus as well. Okay, so for parents, we all want our kids to be as safe as possible, and there are some steps that we can take, especially with our younger children. We want to make sure that our kids know their name, their address, where they live, phone numbers, so that in case of emergency, they can provide that information, get the help that they need. And parents, if we can encourage maybe kids to walk together in groups to school with their friends, that would be a safe way to do it as well. And even if a parent from the neighborhood could escort the group on occasion, that would also be a great idea as well. We want to reinforce with our kids the stranger danger principle. You know, I do visit the schools and go over it with the kids, but hearing it from parents as well, kids know not to talk to anyone, not to go off with anyone or take anything from anyone that they do not know, and to let an adult know if they need help, a trusted adult, whether it be a teacher, another parent, if they are in that type of situation. Parents, I know a lot of parents are working after school and their kids may be home alone after school. A lot of times people ask me what age, and it's a varying age. In general, there's no set rule, but the approximates are 12 to 14. It all depends on the situation, as far as our main thing is we want to make sure the kids are comfortable if they are home alone. They know where to get help if it's from a friend or neighbor. They have all the supplies and everything they need at home. Having all the contact numbers listed by the phone or who they would contact if they needed help, that's important too as well. Having guidelines about who can come over to the house, if anyone. And then also setting rules such as, not using the stove, not answering the phone or not answering the door. Those all can be established with kids too as well to make sure that they are safe while they're at home until a parent arrives. So as parents, if we do decide that we drive our kids to school, there's things we need to remember in order to be safe during those times, okay? There is a posted speed limit in the school zones of 20 miles per hour. That's the maximum amount that's allowed. If you, the best practice to have is if you do see kids out during school hours, drive slower than that even, because you never know, kids are unpredictable. They don't always make the best decisions sometimes, so you really need to be aware. You need to be focused on your driving. No distracted driving, no cell phone usage in school zones, and we really need to be aware at intersections, like I mentioned earlier, maybe making eye contact with the kids there to make sure that they see you and you see them. And the pedestrians do have the right of way, so we need, we need to give ourselves time and have patience at times to deal with the school time hours if you do have to drive through the school zones in Elk Grove. All right, in addition, when you do get to school, it is very important, all of our schools have set up certain rules and procedures regarding drop-offs and pickups. It is important to follow those. Everyone these days is in a hurry, but we need to take that extra time to make sure that everybody is safe, and following all the set procedures is the best way to do that. Obey all signs and posted signs regarding the drop-off and pickoffs, and please be respectful toward any school staff. They're out there to make sure that your children are coming and going to school safely, and that's what we all want to work together to get that accomplished. So to wrap up for today, I know we went over a lot of tips and ideas regarding safety during this back-to-school time season. I can't stress enough, it's very important to go over this with your family and friends. If you have any teens driving, make sure they're aware of all of the things they need to be aware of during this busy time of the year. And always know that we are out there to help and ensure that everything goes well as far as this back to school time of the year. Okay, so here on our On Duty segment, we came up with the idea to answer some questions that have been out there regarding law enforcement. One of the most common questions I get asked often is, why are police cars primarily the colors black and white? It seems like, all the cars have that kind of design to them. Here in Elk Grove, most of our squad cars do have the black and white color to them, and even in the older days, they were called the black and whites. That was the slang name for that the police were driving around in these type of vehicles. Looking into it, the most primary colors when the cars came out of the factories were either painted black or white altogether. They decided maybe the parts of the cars be painted black, the other parts white, primarily the roof and doors. And And that was to kind of make them very distinguishable, so they kind of stood out from all the other cars. There really are no other cars with that type of design. So that kind of tradition is kept for the most part. Most police departments primarily have those colors. These days, a lot are adding different kind of decals and stickers and color schemes and slogans and symbols to their cars. But if you look around, you'll still see, whatever town you're in, the primary colors of these squad cars. And that's the tradition it's been, and probably will still be going forward. So, interesting question, and with a little research, an interesting answer I found to that. We'll be having further questions, regarding law enforcement as we continue with our on-duty episodes.